What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mount MoGraph. My name's Matt, and in today's video we're going to be making a pixel dragon. So this is going to be Summit 22 pixel dragon, or pixel art. You can really do a lot of stuff with this. So just a little precursor, this render is not super cool. I didn't spend too much time on it. Once again, I spent like 10 minutes making this real quick, just to show you guys what we can kind of be making today, and we'll make a better version in this video, so stick around if you like what you see. Anyway, here is what it turned out to be. So this was actually very easy to make. I was kind of thinking like a retro game style, so we'll be going over how to animate this picture and how to get this very stylized look, as well as making pixel flames in the background today. So I think there's some cool stuff you guys can use in this video, and definitely put into your own projects. We're going to cover a little bit of Photoshop and take it into After Effects, but it turns out to be a cool effect. So basically, I just found some pictures online. I've got like a dragon, I've got a background of hell, and I've got just some random lava. So I will be putting those in the link below this video if you want to download those and just follow along with those, or you guys can find your own and do the same thing. So I'm going to go into Photoshop and we'll get started. So I'm going to just open up our dragon, I believe is what we want first. So I'm going to just drag my dragon on in this. And what we're going to do is just double click our background if you guys haven't used Photoshop, to make it so we can edit around with this. And I'm going to just first get rid of this white, and we'll be bringing these layers into After Effects to animate. So let's do W on our keyboard to bring up our magic wand and just click, and it should highlight a pretty good selection of the white. You can hold shift and click other white sections just like this, and then we'll press delete. Doesn't have to be too fancy, so I'll just do Command D and that looks fine. There's some spots down here actually, so I'll just grab that one as well, and we'll zoom in. So press E on your keyboard to bring up your eraser. I would set your hardness to 100% just so you don't get any weird feathers. And this doesn't have to be perfect, because since we're going to be making some pixel art, it's basically an effect in After Effects that I kind of came up with. I don't know if anyone else has done this before, but yeah, that's why it took me a while to get a video up this week. I was trying to come up with something that I haven't seen anywhere else. Trying to keep some unique videos coming up. So anyway, this is not, I did not draw this picture. I'll just tell you guys right now. So if you are doing something professionally, I would not recommend taking someone else's art and doing this. But it's gonna work just for like a fun video or whatever. So I'm gonna call this layer our background, or I'm gonna call it the dragon body. And I'm going to do Command J on my keyboard to duplicate this layer. And let me just minimize this, or not minimize it, I'll just click my eye tool to hide that layer. And what we're going to do is just cut out one of the wings. So I'm just going to grab my polygon lasso tool and just click around the wing. This doesn't have to be perfect. You know, just do a real basic one, because since we're making this into pixel art, which is a cool little workflow tip, that it doesn't have to be like perfect, which is definitely nice if you're trying to do something real quick. So I'm just going to cut around this wing, and just like that, and then I'll do Command J on my keyboard, and this will duplicate that, or just take that layer and make it into a wing. So I'll name this dragon wing front, and then I will just hold Command and click this little box here, and that's going to re-highlight all of our objects on this layer. And then I'll go back into my other layer, my original dragon body actually, right here, and just press delete. So that looks bad, we deleted a wing, but now we're just going to erase, clean up a little bit with E on your keyboard. And what we're going to do now is just fill in this spot real quick and easy, just so it has just little bit of his body back in there instead of just some empty space and no wing. So I'm just gonna do a little lasso around this area, right click and go to fill, and I'm just gonna do content aware, set it to content aware and press OK. And it doesn't have to look great, it doesn't even have to blend that well, it's basically just something. So now when his wing is over there and I move his wing, there's just gonna be something that looks kind of right behind it. So that is nice. Let's go back onto our dragon body layer here, and we're just going to cut off this wing because we actually won't be using it. So just press L on your keyboard to bring up your lasso, and I'm just going to cut real quick. cut his wing off around these spikes. I just want to get into the cool part of the video, because this is kind of the junky beginning, and you guys can do something way cooler. I just want to show you guys how to do this basically. All right, so we have our dragon. I just like this illustration. I found it on DeviantArt actually. I don't need this copy anymore. So now I have my dragon front wing. Oh, actually, do I need that? I'm actually going to go back and just when I had my so I just went in my history and went back in time, because I do actually want to keep this wing. I just want to cut it off this body. So what I'm going to do is just do Command J and get it on its own layer. Press Command and click this layer, the little box here, and go back to my dragon body and then press delete. So now I do have just a separate layer of the wing. So I'm going to call this back wing. We actually won't be using that, but we do need to use the texture. So I can delete this copy. This is all, this is basic Photoshop stuff, so I hope you guys are comfortable using Photoshop. So I'm just going to grab this front wing here, do Command J to duplicate my front wing. I'm going to drag it behind my dragon actually, and I'm just going to call this dragon wing back. And let's do Command T on our keyboard to bring up our transform tools. And I'm just going to move this a little bit and maybe scale it down. And I'm just going to be putting it on the other side of his body over here. I just we want to have a little bit more perspective than the original back wing, which looked like this, which is not gonna look very good when we animate it. So I just did it like this. So what I'm gonna do is just go into my first back wing texture right here, and I'm gonna go grab my clone tool. So that would be, where is this? My clone stamp tool. Here it is. So just grab your clone stamp tool, hold Alt on your keyboard, and click somewhere on this back wing. Like that should be fine. So just hide that layer and go into your dragon wing back and just start painting this clone in there. Should look alright. We just want to get rid of some of this like front looking texture. So we'll just paint that in real quick. And just to make it look like his back wing again. Instead of this like a duplicated front layer, because we're cool like that. So that was pretty easy. I just wanted to give it some of the back wing look again, and that you don't have to do that step, just something I felt like doing. So anyway, there is our dragon, and he's got 2 wings and a body that are all separate layers. So this will be easy to animate. Let's go and save this as a Photoshop layer. I'm just going to save it to my desktop as Dragon PSD. Press save, and let's go into After Effects and get this project started. So let's do Command N on our keyboard to create a new composition. I'll be using 1920 by 1080. Let's just create a really easy background. I'm actually going to use a light orange, I guess. Why not? And so what we're going to do now is do Command I on your keyboard and select your Dragon PSD. And what we're going to want to do is set our import as composition and retain layer sizes. And so this will keep all of our layers separate. So set open, and let's go and make sure this is editable layer styles and composition retain layer styles, and just press OK, or layer sizes. So now we have a dragon composition here, and it's all separated in layers just like in our Photoshop. So let's just copy these layers and we'll paste them into our regular comp just right over here. So let's zoom in, and there is our dragon from Photoshop, and he's cut out. I missed a couple little spots, but I'm not spending too much time on it. I just want to get this done real quick for us. So what we're going to do is just click this where the circle is on these little checkbox. Just click that for our back dragoning. Press Y on your keyboard to bring up your Move Anchor tool, and we're just going to set this anchor point at the bottom of its wing over here. So now just go into its body layer, and we are going to press Y and wherever its anchor point is. I can't even see the anchor point. I'll just set it at the bottom. Oh, I didn't even have the body selected. That would make sense. So there the anchor point is. I'm just going to put it at his feet over here. And let's go into his front wing and just move the anchor point to the tip of his wing right here. Okay. So now let's drag our dragon wing front and dragon wing back. We're going to pick whip it over to our dragon body. So now if I was to move the body, our wings move with it, but I can still move the wings separately. So that's nice. Now what we're going to do is just zoom in our time. and we'll just be creating a short animation. So starting at 1 second here, what we're going to do is just grab our dragon wing front and back and press R on your keyboard to make rotation properties come up. Just set a keyframe, and we're going to go forward to maybe like 2 seconds or so, and just move our front wing. We're just going to tilt it like that, and then go forward a little bit more, and we'll tilt it back down, maybe even farther than before. And so as you can see, it's nice that we added that just background fill content for there. So just grab your other wing and do the same thing. And this is why I resized it, just because when we move our wings, we want it to actually look like a wing and not like a perspective wing. So that is good. So then I'll just move it over here. So I don't think they're going to move at the same time right now. That's fine. Okay, so with those selected, let's just move to where our rotation keyframes start. And click your dragon wing front layer and do Command P on your keyboard. We'll be using our puppet tool. And create some puppet pins. So I'm just going to set 3 pins just on his joints, and I have it set up to 450 triangles, or the mesh. I have mesh show selected and expansion set to 2. So we'll just go forward until this rotation is just about at the top, and I will just move some of these pins around, make his wings deform a little bit more, and then when they come down, I'll just move these pins again. Great. So then I will just do the same thing with the back wing. So just select your wing back layer, do Command P to bring up your puppet tools, and we will just set 3 pins here, and just go forward on your timeline and just maybe stretch these wings out. The nice thing with pixel animation is that your stuff doesn't have to be perfect, because it's going to be all pixelated on purpose. So I promise this is going to turn out pretty cool. At least I think it's pretty cool. Alright, so now I'll play this real quick. We have some dragon wings. I don't know, it just moves around a little bit. Nothing too fancy. Now what we're going to do is just move this dragon's head a little bit. I think 2 would be cool. So let's just grab our dragon body and do Command P on your keyboard, and we're going to set maybe 3 keyframes, or 3 pins. So I'm just going to set one over at his foot. And you want to set pins even where you're not working, just so the mesh doesn't get deformed, because this is all a connected object. You could have taken the time to cut out his neck in Photoshop if you want to do more complex animations, but for us this is going to work perfect. So then I'll just tilt his head up like he's roaring or something, and maybe, I guess he's going to lift up his foot. And then I will just put his foot back down and maybe move this differently. Alright, so in no time at all, we have a really cruddy looking animation, but that's going to be fine for us. So let's just select all of our layers, press U on your keyboard to bring up all your properties. I'm just going to select all the keyframes and press F9 to make them easy ease. And now we'll just minimize that. So let's see, what do we have to do? Alright, so let's create a null object. We're just going to do Shift Option Command Y and create a null, and our null is going to pop up right here. I'll just put it somewhere on the dragon. There is fine, and I'm going to connect my dragon body. I'll pick whip it to my null. I'll call this dragon control, and resize my window real quick. And to resize your window, you can do Shift backslash. So I hope that command popped up for you guys, and that is just how you resize your window up to 100% in no matter what the size is. So even if I was zoomed up more, it'll always resize nicely for us. So anyway, we're going to just maybe even zoom out just to see what's going on. So with my dragon control layer, I'll maybe just scale it down a little bit so he's not so big. And press P on your keyboard and bring up your position properties. Press Shift R to bring up your rotation properties as well, and set a keyframe for both of those. I'll drag these forward. Where does he start to move? So I'll drag these forward to about where he starts to move, and then go back, and I'm just going to tilt it like this and just bring him off the screen. So it's going to look like he lands, and then we will be adding all the other cool stuff in just a second. This is going to be a quick video. So he flies in and he lands. Let's select both of our keyframes and press F9 on our keyboards. Go into your graph editor, just click right here, and we'll fit all graphs to view. Just use your selection marquee and drag over both these nodes, and just drag your Bezier handle all the way to the right real quick. And that was all we're going to do. So click out of the graph editor, and this is just going to make him come in a lot faster, or it's going to be like he's going to like come in slow, and then when he hits the ground it's going to be very abrupt, which will be a good effect. So there he is, just kind of flies in and then does his little dragon thing. So let's import now our two backgrounds. So that's going to be our hell background and our floor, which I will put in a link of the video, or I'll put it in the description of the video, so you guys can also use these same ones if you'd like. What I'm going to do is just drag this hell background onto the back of our composition, and I will scale this up a little bit. I'm also going to create a black layer, so I'm going to do Command Y, and my color is already set to black. I'll just set this to black and move this behind all of our layers. On my hell background, I'm going to press T to bring up my opacity, and I'm just going to turn this down quite a bit to 39, it looks like. Let's grab our hell floor background, and I'm just going to drag this above our hell background, and I'll scale this one up as well. And just we can stretch it out because we're going to be doing a pixel animation, so just set it about where the dragon's feet are. We're going to grab our pen tool, or press G on your keyboard to bring up your pen tool, and I'm just going to trace along here real quick and just cut out the floor. There we go, so that's going to be fine for us, and we will soon add the cool effects. I just want to get the basic scene set up. So let's see, he flies in, he lands, that is all good. Let's add our cool pixel effect, which you guys may or may not know about, but basically here's our dragon. He looks a little bit too realistic unless that's the style you're going for. So go into your effects and presets and just type in mosaic. There's a similar effect in Photoshop actually, but it doesn't work nearly as well. So I'm going to drag this mosaic effect onto my dragon wing front, and immediately it's going to go like something from South Park, all blurred out. So let's, on our mosaic layer, just click sharp colors first, and this is going to make it a little bit better, and we'll turn our horizontal blocks up. And I'm going to be applying these separately to each layer just so we have a little bit more control. So the higher you go, the more defined the wing is going to be. So it's just whatever style you want. If you want it to be super pixelated and old school Mario, set it down real low. And if you want it to be a little bit more realistic, like 90s era Game Boy games, turn it up to what looks good to you. So I'll be turning mine to about 70 and 66 just for this one. I'm just going to copy my mosaic layer and grab my wing back and just paste that effect onto here. And as you can see, this wing, we still want to actually deform it more. There's a little ghost from my bad cutout in Photoshop, but let's not worry about it. I'm not going to spend too much time cleaning it up, so I'm actually going to turn this down a little bit, just since it's the back wing. It's going to be even less detailed. And let's just put our mosaic effect also on our dragon body. So I'll click sharp colors here, and I'm going to turn this up to about 123 and 85. And as you can see, we now have this pixelated dragon. It looks like pixel art or like an old video game, and I think it looks pretty cool. So he's going to come in a second, and he'll land, and he'll do his whole little animation that we set up. Let's drag our mosaic effect also onto our hell background, and as you can see, it's going to get super blurry. Set that to sharp colors, and we'll just turn this effect up a little bit to fit the style that we're going for. So I'll set 64 and 78. I'll grab my mosaic and also put this onto the floor. Sharp colors, and we'll turn this up just to get a similar effect once again. So just turn it up until you like it. I might even keep turning this up. Alright, that looks pretty good. I mean, you could even pixelate him more. I'm fine with this, and you guys, I wanted this to be a quick video just to get you guys to see how you can make some really cool animations actually like this. So let's add our fire in the background. So we're just going to go and press Q on our keyboard to cycle through our primitives or our shape objects until you get the ellipse tool. I'm just going to draw a circle real quick and put it off the screen. Set your fill color on your circle to like an orange is fine. Actually, I should probably put this on the screen just so I can see what I'm changing. So we have our orange shape layer. I'm going to call this layer fire, and we are going to put a couple effects on there actually. So let's first type in ramp, and we're going to grab our gradient ramp and put this onto our fire. Don't worry about anything else on our ramp right now. Let's go and grab a turbulent displacement. So turbulent displacement. We're going to grab this and put this onto our fire. So we used this in another video for a more simple little animation. But let's click our evolution and holding option. We're going to add a small expression. We're going to type in times time 200. So times multiplied by 200. So this means it's going to change over time, nice and dynamic for us, which is good. But let's turn our complexity way up. So we're just going to turn this up until it almost looks ridiculous. But now it's going to, if I zoom in, it kind of has these really rough edges. And so they'll change over time, so I'm sure you guys can see how we will make this into some pixel fire for our pixel dragon. So now what we're going to do is, just with our fire layer selected, go into your add extra properties and click that button and go to repeater, and now go into your repeater properties, and we're just going to repeat this all the way across the screen like this. And I'm just going to move it down. So this is pretty cool. You can definitely do some cool effects, maybe some ink blot transitions if you'd like. But I'm going to set mine just about here on the floor. What else are we going to do here? Okay, so now let's set our gradient ramp colors. I'm just going to set my start ramp color to a bright yellow, or I guess my end ramp color. And my end color I'll set to a red. So we've got some fire colors. I'll click this little button here, this little target button. And we'll set our gradient ramp a little bit closer. And there we go, we have some fire. Let's also add a glow effect to this. So just go into your effects and presets and type in glow. And we'll grab this stylized glow and put this also onto our effect to just brighten it up a little bit. I'll turn my glow intensity up and just give it a nice glow like this. Okay, so this should be animating nice and easy for us. Great, let's grab our fire layer and just put this behind our hell floor layer so it's sitting in the background just like this. And if we want, we can even add that mosaic effect to give it an even more pixelated look if we want. So I guess I'll try that and see how that looks. Type in mosaic and just drag this onto our fire background right here. That's too much. Turn this. I wonder if you know, you can do this for pretty much any kind of artwork, and it normally looks pretty cool. So I wonder if they like made Mario back in the day and like super awesome high definition graphics, and then we're like, they're not ready. Put it into this, and then they just put a mosaic effect on it. So as you can see, we're already starting to get a pretty cool effect. Now we can. What else is there? We'll do two more things. This one you guys don't have to do if you don't have this plugin. I'm going to add a solid layer, and I'm just going to call this particles. And if you guys do have the Trapcode suite, we'll just add a quick little particle like things falling around in the scene. So I'll just go into my emitter and set this to a box emitter. And I'll just make my X size large, and my Y size large, and my Z size also large, just to give it some depth. I'll go down into my particles, and we'll turn the sphere feather up. I'll turn my life random up. Oh, not that much. Size random up. Opacity random up. That's all set. I'll also use another plugin called Starglow, and this is just a quick way to add some particular glow. So I'll drop that onto our little particles, and that's all we're going to do with it, just to give our scene a little bit more pop. So I'll turn this effect up, and as you can see, we're getting these little diamond thingies, and they should be falling around our scene. I might have have a ton of them, and they look really bad, but that's basically how you guys can do it. So I'm going to turn this to maybe 30. Just keep it a little bit more modest. We don't need to see that many falling particles. So let's go into our project window. This is the last thing we'll be doing, and this video will be all set. So let's grab our comp one, which is all these layers, and just drop it into a new composition. And what we're going to do is just scale this up to 112%. And we'll just lift it up. So just move it with your mouse a little bit up in the air. And then as our dragon hits the ground, we're just going to move the position real quick to give it kind of a shake effect. So like right about there, we'll press P on our keyboard and set a position property keyframe. Just scroll forward a little bit in your timeline. 1 frame later, I'm going to just drop this down significantly and then copy and paste my original keyframe back. And so let's play this video and see what we got. Whoa. Yeah, so this was just a quick video today. I just want to show you guys this cool technique. I hope you guys liked it. I know it wasn't like the most amazing effect ever, but I think you guys could have a lot of fun with it, and I just wanted to put something unique up for everybody. So if you guys like this video, just leave me a like or subscribe to this channel. If you hated this video, of course dislike this video, but I think there's some cool stuff we went over. So you can do a lot with this if you want to cut out the arms, the legs, make a more complex animation, but this is how you can also make pixel art. Additionally, if you would like to just make some easy pixel art outside of Photoshop, you can go into your composition settings, save frame as a Photoshop layer, and then you can edit it further or make like Pokemon cards or whatever you want to do. So I hope you guys liked this video today. Once again, this was Matt from Mount MoGraph, and get your learn on. Peace.